Well, we're in Genoa, and Genoa's been very nice. The old port, which is also the old town, is interesting to wander through. There's many grand buildings which are open to the public and you can go into. This is the hotel foyer, which is also very nice. It's a bit upmarket compared to where we're used to. I would say accommodation is not cheap in the city. I think it's because it's a very big transit port for cruise ships and ferries. So there's a lot of demand and not a lot of accommodation. Yeah, but it's definitely where you could spend weeks here and never get through all the attractions. I would say the waterfront, for being a coastal city, is not attractive at all. But you know, the built infrastructure is really nice, and there's lots of museums, lots of walking tours. There's good transport options from here to just about anywhere, with airports, bus, rail, and ferries and cruise ships. So we're off today inland, so we're going to catch a train for about an hour, and we're just going to a little village because big cities are not my friend. I'd rather be in a smaller town.
Speaking of friends.
And my friend Simon's here. He's come here from Australia. He come here specifically to see me, but he came to Europe for some banking. But I'm very happy to see him. He's my best friend, and we're just going to spend a couple of days reminiscing and catching up. So that'll be lovely. If you can get up in any of the European cities, because there's no skyscrapers almost, you get these beautiful views. You know, everything's kind of low rise. And any time you get on top of the building, you get quite a good view.
We stayed at Hotel Vittoria. Up there. But there's a lift at the bottom, and you can take your bike in the lift up, and then they've got a storage room inside.
The train that we caught was just like a local train, and it was really full, pumping. And you know, there's one thing they could improve is, you know, there was no bicycle storage on them. You could take a bike on, but you just stood in the middle.
Our accommodation in Pavia was less than salubrious because we know how to show our friend a good time.
Also, for Australians, if I give a word of advice, avoid Europe in August. It's hot and nobody's there. Like, everything's closed because everybody's on holiday, so everything's expensive. All transport options are full, and most places are closed.
We've arrived during a week where the Ascension of Mary is celebrated, and most of this town leaves for holidays. So tonight is apparently very quiet, but there's still a lot of people out. And we're in, I'll put a map up there somewhere. We're in a little square part of the city. And it's really cool, actually. I quite like this so far. We're walking on very strange pavement, I'll show you.
But this was a time of just eating a lot of really good food, and it was really lovely. So this is a better train, as you can see. So we went first class, and you know, there's plenty of bike storage and everything. And you know, there's no real way to tell when you're buying the ticket what you're going to get, what's going to arrive. But obviously, if you're first class, you kind of know that.
And they had PowerPoints. The journey to Turin's quite beautiful, actually. Nice scenery.
It's certainly a lot easier travelling without the bikes on the trains. So when we get there, you know, it's right in the middle of the old town, the main railway station. One thing I want to say about these is, you know, you look at these big buildings and it looks like they've got no space, and there's not a lot of park space either, other than these great big squares. But almost every building that you're looking at has an internal courtyard, which is, you know, private for the guests or the people that are living there. But sometimes they leave the door open so you wander in and explore. And look, this whole place is for fashion. You know, like, you wander around, everybody's so well dressed. It's like going to Melbourne if you're from Australia. And all the stores are there.
La-di-da, this place feels more fashionable than Milan.
And they have the discount stores, but they also have stores where, like, it's eye-wateringly expensive to
go in. Like, there's this dress that PJ's about to show, and it was like 4,000 Australian dollars for a dress. Here's us exploring one of those courtyards. So yeah, you walk through, and almost all of them have this. Like, sometimes they're grass, sometimes they use them for parking, sometimes they're absolutely gorgeous, which is like the hotel that my mate stayed in this night. They made it gorgeous.
Yeah, this is really stunning. I couldn't stop taking pictures and video. It's such a cool spot.
Yeah, sort of like Laura Ashley sort of vibe all through Country Estate, but it's just a big building from outside. And then you can see the centre courtyard here as well. So, you know, they've turned it into quite a place. It's got a swimming pool and all that sort of stuff, and trees. But yes, it's very nice. And it's useful to understand that they're not just all big apartment buildings.
And again, it's that courtyard concept in the back, which is an architectural feature we don't really see much in Australia.
Yeah, so it's our private spaces are public, and their private spaces are definitely private.
This is the breakfast room.
So this is the dress. It's like $4,000 for that dress. My mate went to look at a scarf, and the scarf started at like $2,000. And I was playing Galaga, like, you know, come on, Galaga kills. So, you know, this was like a half-hour sojourn of me playing one game of Galaga. PJ played, she only lasted one level.
Yeah, well, Simon looked for gifts. It's a really beautiful city.
Yeah, and there's so much of it, you know, like, there's a scale of the size of the city that doesn't come across in these little videos that we have. Some of the old towns are very tiny, but some are like vast, like this one.
Well, hopefully my friend Simon is on his plane back to Australia. It'll be a close run thing. He flew out of Turin yesterday, and he had a 2-hour slot to change planes in Rome to get on his flight back to Australia. So we're hoping that he got back. He cut it fine so he could spend the most amount of time with us, and it's been a great holiday with him. So yesterday we went to Turin, where he was going to catch the plane. He overnighted there and we came back here. The trains were excellent. It was an easy train journey there and easy train journey back. And but when we went to Turin, like, we were just really impressed with the whole city. So the whole city is like a lot grander than here, and it's got a lot more life to it. So this is a beautiful place, and the old town is lovely, and the accommodation here in Turin are basically the same price. So I think if I could do it over again, I would have gone to Turin and spent the 3 days there rather than here, because here, you know, while it's lovely, there's not a lot to do. So, but Turin, it looks really like there's a lot to do. It's like a really big city, and it's very clean. Got lots of things, activities, things to poke around at. And, you know, really I left after 7 hours wanting to stay longer and wishing we'd brought the bikes and we could just stay overnight and have another day to explore. So I think it's great to leave a place wanting more, but it's on our future list of places we want to go to now. So if you get a choice, I would say Turin is the place to go, not Pavel. But, you know, here's lovely as well. Like, if I hadn't seen it, I would have been totally happy with here.
And they're both quite close to Milan and Genoa, so there's options, and, you know, there's also an airport in Turin as well, which is handy. So, yeah, overall this has been a nice little sort of time, and it was really good to spend time with a friend who's come to visit. So yeah, see you next time.
Okay, you come to the end again. Please subscribe and please leave comments. I love replying to them. And you know, we look forward to joining you again next time.